Joseph.
Is this right?
Oh, yeah, it's almost right.
Almost right. Okay, I'm going to offer you a choice. You have a choice of two stories to hear. One will involve death, many deaths, and the other is a moving story. Which one should I tell? Morbid audience. Yeah, thank you. So this goes back to when I first started off many, many years ago as an advertising copywriter. I was working in a building called MAA House. The building, I'm convinced, was cursed, and the building in turn cursed all of us who worked in it. We cursed the building because it was built with 4 stories but no lift. And we'd have to drag ourselves up those stairs every day. Our boss, who was the chief of the agency, felt that we should get exercise. And that's why we cursed it, and him. But the first death occurred after I joined. Abba was a very pretty young lady who joined us as an executive after many years of being a stay-at-home mom. I heard that she was feeling very bad, that she had her children too early, got married too early, and now was feeling better because she got to work in an agency. And she was also attending swingers parties where she'd put her keys in her hat and have some random male draw the key. So, and her husband was overworked. I mean, he would basically stay in his agency through the night. One day, Abba called in sick. She sent her kids to the neighbor. The neighbor found Abba was hanging when she tried to return the kids. That was the first death. Second death was Azhar. Azhar was a Muslim. What I remembered him when I was sketching. I was at an art class the other day. We were sketching nude females, and I remember that pen and ink drawings of nude women were his forte. And the little triangle at the crotch was, he would put such a lot of work in it. It would be heavily scored. It was like he had kept attacking it with his pen, and the black ink was glistening. But Azhar had a difficult childhood. He was born with a heart defect. He had 3 heart surgeries when he was still a child. His mother couldn't afford to look after him, so she gave him to a best friend, and the best friend brought him up. Both the best friend of his foster mother and his biological mother decided one day that it's time for Azhar to get married. So they found him a bride. The first clue that Azhar had was that things weren't going well was when he heard the mehr, which is the amount that you give when you divorce a woman in the Muslim tradition, that had doubled than what he had previously agreed. So then he kind of figured out that the marriage wasn't going well. His new wife made life miserable for his foster mother, who Azhar was very fond of. So Azhar decided to get rid of her. He divorced her, paid her the mehr, went into debt. I met him. He was happy. He was working on his own. He wasn't working for an agency anymore. He paid off the debt and the mehr, and he was very happy. Next I heard of him, he had died. His heart had suddenly given out as he was watching a cricket match late at night. Third person to die, notice a trend. Extended unhappiness, a brief period of happiness interrupted by death. Next death was Anita. Anita had a challenging childhood as well. When she was a child, her parents had taken her to a temple. They had a car crash. Anita's leg telescoped. The parents had to decide whether they should fix Anita's sister's with lip, which was very badly gashed, or her leg. So Anita's leg was fixed, and the sister ended up with a scarred lip. But Anita was left with a permanent limp, and she would limp up and down those 3 flights of stairs. We worked on the 3rd floor. And of course, she would curse. But she managed to qualify as a lawyer before she became a copywriter, because her father was a lawyer, and her father wanted her to follow in his footsteps. Then she announced that she didn't want to be a lawyer. She wanted to be a copywriter. And he got into, copywriting is not the ideal profession, but she got into it and she was happy. She went to Bombay, again, dragging her leg. Bombay is a very challenging city if you are disabled. But she's lived for 2 years and worked with a very acerbic boss who was very trenchant in criticism. She's survived that and came back, and she got married. And when I met her in the lobby of her new agency, which was India's largest agency, she was very happy. Next I heard of her, she had died of breast cancer, which is a very painful way to die. I know 2 women who've died of breast cancer. Any kind of cancer are painful, so please get yourself screened if you're at that age. And the 4th death is my boss, Eugene Titus. He had a number of nicknames: Blue Jeans Titus, Urine Titus. The nickname that I liked the most was Titus Interruptus. And he took me for a pep talk to a coffee shop one day, and I was wondering, because there was this vegetable seller just outside the coffee shop, how did that vegetable seller sell vegetables, and which smelled so bad? And then it occurred to me that I'm sitting downwind of Eugene Titus. But there was one thing that I would probably account for his lack of personal hygiene. His father was a paraplegic. Eugene would go away for business trips, tossing a couple of packets of biryani and bottles of water at the father. And when he came back, he had to pick up his father, wash his father off, and wash the sheets. I don't know what happened to Eugene, but I read that he had died. Apparently, he was very good at fixing musical instruments for his church. So, to round off, I'm very suspicious of happiness, because I've been miserable most of my life, and I know that if I'm happy, that will make the building collapse around me. Thank you very much.